Hello all. In this particular tutorial, we will learn how to install Oracle Database Express Edition XC21C and SQL Developer on Windows. Why Oracle Database XC Edition? It's a free Oracle database for everyone. Oracle Database Express Edition is ideal for developers, DBAs, data scientists, and educators. Oracle Database Express Edition is repackaged version of same powerful Oracle database used by enterprise world. Oracle Database Express Edition is completely free. Let me take you to this official website of the Oracle. And I'll open this link in front of you. So let me paste it, and here you can see it's a free Oracle database for everyone, all completely free. Whether you are a developer, DBA, data scientist, or educator, this is the Oracle database provided, the free Oracle database provided by the Oracle company itself. And this particular software is same which is used in the enterprise world, but it is repackaged version for simple download, ease of use, and it's a fully featured experience. Now that we know why we should use this particular software, let's begin with our session. Now, the high-level steps are: download Oracle Database Express Edition 21C from Oracle website, download SQL Developer from Oracle website, install Oracle Database Express Edition, install SQL Developer, connect to the database using SQL Developers. So if you see the steps are pretty simple. You have to download two softwares. One is the Database Express Edition, one is the SQL Developer. And then once you have downloaded these two softwares, you have to install them. Now, let me say something. The order of installation does not matter. You can install the SQL Developer first and followed by the Database Express Edition. It doesn't matter in which order. These two softwares are independent of each other. They don't have the dependency. So you can install SQL Developer first, followed by the Express C, or you can install the Express C first, followed by the SQL Developer. It does not matter. Then the installation requirements. User who is installing the software must be part of administrator group on Windows. Unset Oracle Home or TNS admin environment variable if those were set before. If existing Oracle Database XC service is running, delete it. Remember to keep note of sys system and PDB admin password. Keep note of connection string displayed at the end of the installation. So let me explain this in detail. So the person, the resource who is installing the software on the Windows machine, on that particular Windows machine, that particular user must be part of the administrator group. If these particular two environmental variables are set, you need to unset them. This particular variable should be unset before starting the installation of Oracle Database XC. So unset these environmental variables. If you have installed Oracle Database XC, then probably there will be an XC service. Delete that service or uninstall that particular component before proceeding with the fresh installation. So when you start with the new installation, make sure that there is no XC service running. When you install this particular software, it will prompt you when you are during the installation. It will prompt you for the password of sys system and PDB admin. Keep a note of that particular password which you will use at a later point in time. So keep the note of that particular password. It's the same password for all these three accounts. So sys system and PDB admin will use same password. Now at the end of the installation, it will give you a connection string. Keep note of that particular connection string which will help you to connect to the Oracle database once the installation is completed. Now, as part of this installation, what will happen is once the installation is completed, one database called Oracle Database called XC will get created. This installation will create one root container called cdb$root. This installation will create one PDB called XCPDB1. So you will have a database called XC, and it's a multi-tenant database. Under that, there will be a root container, and there will be a PDB, one PDB called XCPDB1. Now, the connection string format. So if you want to connect to this particular database without listener, you will simply open the command prompt and you will type sqlplus sys as sysdba, which will connect you to the container database, and then you can switch to the PDB. And if you want to connect using the listener, the format would be username, password, host name, port, and DB service name as sysdba. So if you want to connect to the container database, you will say sqlplus sys. The password, this particular password is the one which you gave during the installation. Localhost, if you are doing this on a remote, you can give the remote 1521. Sorry, if you are connecting on the remote, you will give the IP address or the machine name 1521 is the default listener port. XC is the database name or the Oracle SID as sysdba. If you want to connect to the first pluggable database which gets created automatically, the connection string will be exactly same. However, instead of XC, you will use XC PDB1. So SQL plus sys password at localhost 1521 XC PDB1 as sysdba. Now you can also connect via SQL Developer. So if you want to connect via SQL Developer, if you want to connect to the root, you will name, this is your choice, whatever you want to give. This is the sys user, the password which you gave during the installation. You have to choose role as sysdba, save the password. Here, if you are doing this on a remote machine, you will give the machine name or IP address. And if you are doing this, if the SQL Developer is installed on the same machine where the database is running, you can give localhost or 127.0.0.1. The default port 1521 and SID is XC. And if you directly want to connect to the PDB, then instead of SID, you will give the service name XC PDB1, and again rest of things will remain exactly same. Now that we have seen everything, let us begin the labs. So what are we going to do? We are going to download these two softwares, install this particular software and connect to our database. Let's begin. So here I got the Windows machine, and the first thing that we need to download this particular software. So what are the two things we are going to download? The Oracle Database Express C and SQL Developer. So let me show it to you from where I am downloading this. So go to the browser, search for this particular software, and here you can see Oracle Database Express Edition. Click on this link and it gives us this particular link from the Oracle website itself, Oracle Database 21C Express Edition for Windows. Let's click on this and you can see it has started downloading. Now I have already downloaded this particular software, so I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to cancel this because the software has already been downloaded. So you can see Oracle XC213 Win64, and that software is already present here. So let me cancel that download. Now the second software that we need is download SQL Developer. So let me click on search for that, and here we get SQL Developer downloads. Here it prompts for 24.3.1. Whatever latest version is available, you can choose that. I'm going to use Windows 64-bit JDK 17. So this is the software. Click on download. It will start downloading. Again, this particular software is also downloaded. So I'm going to show it to you. SQL Developer, this particular software is also downloaded. So our work in the browser is done. Let's close that. Now, let's close this as well. So now the two softwares, as I mentioned, these particular softwares can be installed in any order. It does not matter. These are independent of each other. Now to install the SQL, what we'll do, we will extract both of these softwares so that whenever we are ready. So I'm going to extract this particular software and I'm going to extract this software as well. So let's extract both of the softwares and keep it ready. So that's done. And now let's go to the Oracle XC edition. And here, once you go inside that particular extracted software, you will find this setup.exe. We will run this setup.exe to install the software. Now installation is going to take some time. So let's start that. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to right click on it and say run as administrator. I'm going to right click on the setup and say run as administrator. This particular setup is going to launch this installer, Oracle Database Express, Oracle Database 21C Express Edition. Click on next, accept the license, click on next. By default, it is choosing this particular location. Now, if you want to leave it as default, you can leave it. If you want to change it, you can change it. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to remove this administrator. So I'm going to keep a simple path. Again, if you want to keep it in a D drive, E drive, any other drive, that should be, you can change the drive here as well. So that's your choice where you want to install the software. Now, before I install this particular software, let me show you that there is no app folder in the C drive. So let's go to the C drive and you can see under C drive, we don't have any folder called app. The installation is going to create that folder for us. Click OK. And this, if you are okay with this particular location, click on next. This is important. As I mentioned, the installation will prompt you for the sys system and PDB admin password. Whatever password you type here, keep a note of that particular password. Keep note of that particular password. Do not forget that particular password. I'm literally giving the password as password, PASSWORD. So literally the password is password which I have entered here. Click on next. And if everything looks good, start installing. Now, the first thing, this particular installer will do two things for us. It's going to create a new service called, and let me go to the services.msc. And if I go to the services.msc, let's type O. If you see here under O, I don't have any. These are the only three services here: offline, open, optimize. These are the only three services here. There is no service called Oracle. You can see there is no service called Oracle. Now, this particular installation is going to create multiple services, and the two services will be, one is the listener service and one will be the Oracle database XC service. So the one will be the listener service, and I'll show you both, and one will be the listener service. The listener service is important in a way that that particular listener service opens up or brings up the port 1521. The default port for the Oracle database is 1521, and the XC service brings up that particular port. The listener service brings up that particular port. Now, if you cannot connect to the Oracle database from a different machine, so let's say you have installed this on a Windows and you have installed SQL Developer on a Linux machine or any other machine, and you want to connect to that particular database from a remote machine, then this particular listener service needs to be running. This particular listener service should be running. By default, Oracle will set this particular service as the automatic, which means that whenever the Windows machine is restarted, automatically that particular service should come online. Remember one thing, if that particular service is not running, you will not be able to connect to your Oracle database from remote machine. This particular service, so if you ever face any difficulty in finding out why you are not able to connect, first check your listener service. So now here it says Oracle XC listener configured successfully. So let's go back here, and here there were only three services with O: offline files, OpenSSH, optimized drive. Let me refresh this, and now you can see that there is a listener service. Let me actually take this, and as I mentioned, it's running, and the startup mode is automatic, which means that every time this machine is restarted, automatically that particular service will come online. Let me show it to you in the services. In the services, let me show you the name of that particular service. So the name of that particular service is Oracle Aura DB21 Home 1 TNS Listener. So this is the listener service, and this particular service brings up port 1521. Without this particular listener service, the 1521 will not be running, and you will not be able to connect to your database from a remote machine. Now, so the next part that it does, it configures this Oracle XC database. It configures this particular. So now it started creating the Oracle database. The Oracle database creation takes a bit of time. I'm not going to waste your time because it takes really a long time. I don't want you to just watch the screen. So let me pause the video, come back once this is about to be done or almost done. So I have unpaused the video. Anytime from now, the installation will complete. So we are almost there, and that's done. And you can see Oracle XC database is configured successfully. Now, as I mentioned, at the end of the installation, it will display the connection string format. Keep the note of this particular format. This will help you to connect to your Oracle database. So keep a screenshot, take a screenshot, or note it down somewhere. Now, if you want to connect to the container database, you will say localhost 1521. If you want to connect to the pluggable database, you will say localhost 1521 XCPDB1. And if you want to open the enterprise manager, you will use HTTPS localhost 5500 EM. So that's how you will connect to all of this. Now, if I know this by heart, so I'm not going to take a screenshot, but just remember to take a screenshot and save this or keep a note of this. Now that everything is done, let's click on finish. Now, the installation part is done. So the second installation that we are going to do is the SQL Developer service. Now, really, in reality, you don't install the SQL Developer. It's just you download the software and you extract it. Once you extract, the installation is complete. So let me repeat, you don't install the SQL Developer. You just download that particular software and extract that particular software. Once you extract that particular software, that installation is completed. So let me open this software for us. In the folder that we extracted, you will find this particular software. The first time when you run this particular software, it's going to take some time for launching because it's going to check whether there is any previous version installed, etc., and it will prompt you for this import. But if the next time, it will be pretty fine fast. So I'm launching this SQL Developer, and here you can see, and I'll do this at a later point in time. But before that, we will actually connect via the command prompt. So let's launch the command prompt, and let me clear this. So to connect to your database, there are multiple ways. If you just say SQL plus as sysdba. Now, before I do this, let me actually show you one more thing. So the installation, if you remember, the installation also brought up one more service, this Oracle service XC. So this is the another service. This is the main database service. So if this particular service is not running, if this particular service, so this is the listener service, which will allow you to connect to the Oracle database from remote. And this is the another service, and this particular service is the main Oracle database service. If to connect to your databases, both of these services should be running fine. So open the services in your Windows machine and check if these services are running. Then only you will be able to connect to your database. So now that's done. So now let's say SQL plus as sysdba, and if I type enter, and if I say select name, if I say select name from $V database, we will see that we got a database called XC. So the database name will be XC. So by default, the installation created one database called XC. Again, it's a root, it's a PDB, CDB, multi-tenant architecture. So if I say show con name, con underscore name, if I do this, you will see that I'm connected to the root container. So this is how I'm connected. Now, if I do show PDBs, so this will show me what are the PDBs which are available. And you can see there is one PDB. This is the seed PDB, which is the default PDB. And this is the XC PDB. This is the one which you can use to create tables, etc. So this is the first PDB that gets created. Now, once you connect to the, let me actually do something like this, host clear, and sorry, host CLS. And if I show you, so right now I'm connected to, if I do show con name, I'm connected to the root, and you can see I'm connected to the root. And if you want to connect to this, if you want to connect to this PDBs, then you will say alter session set container equals XC PDB1, and you can, and if you type enter, and if I now say show con name, then you will see that I'm now connected to. So by default, when I connected using SQL plus sysdba, I got connected to the root. And but if you want to switch to this PDB, you will say alter session set container is equal to XC PDB1, which will allow you to connect to the first PDB, the default PDB that gets created. So this is the way you can connect without using the listener. Now, if you want to use the listener port, you can do that. So sorry, I keep typing clear, which is a Linux command. So if you want to connect using the, if you want to directly connect to the root container using the listener, you can do something like this. So SQL plus sys password, let me actually put it in the center, SQL plus sys password. So this is the password that we specified at localhost 1521, which is the default port. XC, this one will connect to the root container. So if I do this, if I type this, and if I type enter, and if I say show con name, you will see that I'm connected to the root container. And if you want to connect, let me exit. And if you want to connect to directly the PDB, you will say XC PDB1 as sysdba. And if I say show con name, you will see that I'm connected to the PDB XC PDB1. So let me show it to you one more time how you connect. So you can either say SQL plus sys as sysdba, or you can, if you want to connect to the root container directly, you can say SQL plus sys password at localhost 1521 XC as sysdba. This one will connect you to the root container. And if you want to connect to the PDB, you will use exactly same syntax, except here instead of XC, you will give XC PDB1, which is your first PDB. So this is how you will connect to your first PDB. Show con name will show where you are connected. So now what we will do, we will also see how to connect via the SQL Developer. So let's minimize this and let's open our SQL Developer. So let's set some connections. So what we will do, we will click on this plus button. We'll click on this plus button. Here you can give whatever name you want to give. This is your choice. So let's say XC, because we are going to connect to the XC. And here we'll give username as sys and the password role as sysdba. we will save the password so it doesn't prompt for the password again. And I'm typing the password of which I gave during the installation, which is literally PASSWORD. And here localhost, or you can give the machine name 1521, and default SID is XC. Let's do the test, and that is successful. If you connect to this, what will happen? Automatically this query prompt will open, and if whatever query you want to create a table, etc., you can create that. Now if you want to connect to the direct PDB, you can instead of connecting to the root container, if you want to connect to the first PDB, click on the same. Now we'll change that connection to PDB1, and here instead of SID we will specify XCPDB1. So let's do the test connection. Successful. Let's connect, and we can see we have connected. So this we connected in the local machine. We have successfully connected in the local machine. So the SQL developer is running on the same machine as where we have installed the Oracle database. Now, can we connect to this particular database from remote? So let's say you have a different machine. So what I'll do, I will open the SQL developer. This is the SQL developer on my local machine, and let me do the connection to that particular databases. So here, let me say I want to connect to the PDB. So I'll say XCPDB1. Again, this is your choice, whatever you want to give. Sys password, the password is literally password. Here give the host name, or let's find out what is the host name of this particular machine. So let me exit, or I can open another command prompt. Either you can give the host name or IP address, both is fine. So host name is Win22. So let me give the host name Win22, port 1521. Service name that we want to connect to is XCPDB1. So let's do the test connection, and success. Let's connect. And once we have connected, it will open one query session for us. Give it a few minutes for that particular session to open. Now that's done. And now let's see where I am connected. Show con name, which will show us that we are connected to XCPDB1. So let me take this, and you can see we are connected to XCPDB1. So that's good. Now what I'll do, I will go to, let me actually minimize this. Let me actually go here, and let me actually clear this host CLS. And here also we are connected to, so here also we are connected to that particular, we are connected to that XCPDB1. So now let me type select star from employee. So let's see if we have any table called employee, and table or view does not exist. Now what we'll do, we'll go here in the SQL developer, and let's create one table, insert one record, and let's select from that here. So let's do that. So I'm creating an employee table, employee ID int, employee name character. So let's create that particular table. That's done. And then we will insert one record into that employee table. The first employee has joined our organization called Rock. Let's insert that record, and that's done. Let's select from that employee table, and that's done. So we got one Rock. Now let's go back to our here we got the output select star from employee. When I ran, table or view does not exist. Exactly same query I'm going to run now, and let me actually put it in the capital so that you will think that it's the table name by default will become case insensitive. So I'm going to type exactly same query, and now we should get one record. Sorry, we the reason why we did not get it, because we did not commit it. So let's commit that, and let's go back here, and let's run exactly same query, and we should get one record called one rock, which we inserted from the SQL developer. So if you want to connect to your database from the SQL developer, that is fine. If you want to do it from local machine using the SQL Plus, that is fine. The choice is yours. I prefer the SQL developer because it allows me to save the query, copy paste, and etc., open multiple sections, etc., etc. But that's how you connect. So let me repeat the way we connected is here. To connect to the root, we will say XC. If you want to connect to the PDB, you will say XC PDB1. Again, we can connect via the SQL Plus using this particular syntax, or if you want to connect to the root, we can say SQL Plus sys as sysdba. And we saw that one root container called $root got created, and one PDB got XC PDB1 also got created when we installed this particular software. So this is a free Oracle database for everyone. So Oracle Database Express Edition is the free Oracle database for everyone, and this particular database you can use to learn Oracle database and to learn SQL, PL SQL, or if you want to become data scientist, anything that you want, you can use this particular software. It's a free Oracle database from the Oracle itself. So in this particular tutorial, we learned how to install Oracle Database Express Edition 21C and SQL Developer on Windows. I hope you like this particular tutorial. I hope if you like this particular video, if you do like the content that I'm uploading on my channel, do hit the like button, do hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and see you in next tutorial. Till then, bye bye.